Howdy everyone, welcome back to What Will Enjoy Sports. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you're a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuing support. We're halfway through the NRLW season now. Let's get stuck into round number 7. Round 7 starts at Shark Park from 12:45 this weekend. On the Saturday, Cronulla host the Gold Coast Titans. Sharks, they are $1.37. The Gold Coast Titans are $3.12 for the Cronulla Sharks. An enormous out. Quincy Dodd, the hooker, is out. I'd suggest that she probably had been the best player for them throughout 2025 and that she'd probably be about the second best hooker in the game at the moment. So just going through the rest of the team list now. So Biddle, Staples, Ravix, Hanaway, Kirioratu, Johnston, Brooke Anderson is the hooker this weekend. Jacinta Carter, Tafua, Kirioratu and Tale Holmes, they are the back row. Interchange, Tyler King, Taka Patolo, Davis Welsh and Steph Faulkner. Going into the Gold Coast Titans now, Jamie Chapman's season potentially is over due to a syndesmosis injury. And Leilani Montgomery is playing in at fullback. Avania Lacio is centre. Rain Hippie, Phoenix Rain Hippie, is playing on the Sting, and Talia Fuimaono and Lauren Brown are a halves combination this weekend. Forward pack is Lafipo, Kolk, Elliston, the back rows, Solia, Bent and Hale. Hale, whoa, man, she's having a good season. Interchanges Pakulis, Clark, Penatani and Thompson. Niall Williams-Guthrie and Arakua have been named on the reserves as well. So Niall Williams-Guthrie could return this weekend, be a late inclusion. They found themselves last weekend, did the Sharkies, especially in that first half, and then they just took the foot off the gas in that second half. But they looked really good. Emma Varon went ballistic as well. She was excellent last weekend. So I'm going to tip the home team here, Cronulla Sharks 1-12. The second game on Super Saturday is from 3:15 at Suncorp. Broncos, $1.10. The Parramatta Eagles, they are $7. Well, that's good that that's come in a little bit because yesterday the Parramatta Eagles were sitting at $9. That was way too much, and you may as well have just put $20 on Parramatta Eagles because they play pretty well at Suncorp Stadium. They've got not too bad of a record when they play at Suncorp. So going through the Brisbane Broncos team list, so Brianna Clark is out due to a suspension. So we've got Aneta Claudia Nuasala and Keely Joseph starting in the front row. Regan Hicks comes off of the interchange this weekend. I think this also might be her comeback game after her suspension. I don't remember last weekend. For the Parramatta Eels, who were very brave in defeat in a high quality game of footy, the Parramatta Eels this weekend, Tyler Amiatu is out due to a shoulder injury. Tess McWilliams is dropped down to jersey number 18. Chloe Jackson is dropped from starting second row to jersey 17. And it looks like that the new face is Boss Kapua in jersey number 11 playing in the second row. Also, Kennedy Charrington is back this weekend. So an exclusion for the Parramatta Eels, but a very big inclusion in the form of Kennedy Charrington. The Broncos leaking 28 points against the Canberra Raiders. Like, no disrespect to the Raiders, but Broncos should have done way better than that. I know they scored 44 of their own, but they should have done way better than that defensively. Brisbane Broncos, and as Parramatta Eels side, they are not $7. They weren't $9 yesterday. They're not $7 today. They should be sitting around that $3 range for sure. So a cheeky $10 may not go astray on the Parramatta Eels, but I got to play it safe and I'll tip the Brisbane Broncos. But this one feels like if there is an upset this weekend, this could be it. you choose to take the Parramatta Eels in the NRLW lightly at your own peril and see what happens. But I'm going to go the Brisbane Broncos 1-12. The third game on Super Saturday is from 5:15 in the afternoon and emanates from FMG Stadium, Waikato in Hamilton. The New Zealand Warriors host the Canberra Raiders. The Wars, they are $1.25. The Raiders, they are $4 outsiders. The Raiders are backed better than the Eels are this weekend. Sorry, that was rude. So for the New Zealand Warriors this weekend, let's see. So Ellie Baker, so it looks like that they are just about unchanged, the New Zealand Warriors, after an awesome performance against the Bulldogs in Sydney. Really, really good stuff. For the Canberra Raiders now, Maddie Bartlett's season is over. I believe it is a collarbone injury. So the best of wishes to her. Coming in for her is, I think, Mackenzie Wiki, Tafanga, Robbins Reddy, and Wiruki Hosea. They are the back five, including Elise Simpson, Nato Toka, and Temera are the halves. The front row, which hasn't changed just about all year, remains the same. And the interchanges Barnes, Finau, Preston, and Matua. The forward pack is going to relish the chance to get into a smash mouth matchup against this New Zealand Warriors forward pack. But that backline up against the Raiders backline, I can't go past. And Patricia Maliepo is definitely the front runner for the Rookie of the Year at the moment. So I'm going to go the New Zealand Warriors. I'll say the New Zealand Warriors 13+. Moving into the Sunday contest, and match number 1 is from Allianz Stadium, kicking off at 11:50 in the morning. West Tigers versus the St. George Illawarra Dragons. St. George Illawarra, they are the favourites, $1.35. The Tigers, they are $3.25. Here are the changes for the Tigers. So Caitlin Turnbull, who's been brilliant on the wing, she's playing at fullback this weekend. Pollard, Portia Burke, Emily Bass and Lily Rogan, they round out the rest of the back five. Faifua Jatai, Faifua and Manara, they are the halves pairing. For the forward pack, Togatuki, Berryman Duff and Harko. Kezi Apps, Montana Clifford and Luamanu Leotawa are the back row. The interchanges Saville, Ranki, Fonua and Etawale. Players like Salmanua and Evie McGrath sitting on the reserves as well. So Faifua at 5/8 was definitely not part of the plan when kickoff commenced earlier this year. For the St. George Illawarra Dragons, massive inclusion. Tegan Berry, she plays at fullback this weekend. Ekapati, Indy Bostock is also back. Keely Brown, Millard, Ray and McGregor, that is the backline. That is just about a full-strength backline. Just missing Bobby Law there. The forward pack, Mulhall, Hopkins, Southwell, Lendl, Basham, Costa, Shipton, Ingram, McGregor and Bronte Wilson. I still give this Tigers team a sniff, but there's so many changes. Portia Burke, I think, makes her debut this weekend. But yeah, with Berry and Bostock back, I can't go past the St. George Illawarra Dragons here. I might have, if there were just a couple more players still available for the Tigers, but I'm going to go the Dragons here 1-12. The second game on Sunday is the match of the year to date. The Sydney Roosters host the Newcastle Knights from Polytech Stadium up there on the Central Coast, and it is the Sydney Roosters who come in pretty well favoured, $1.39. The Newcastle Knights, they're sitting at $3, so immediately there is already some value there on the Newcastle Knights. For the Sydney Roosters, it looks like that their backline is unchanged. Kelleher and Aiken, the halves pairing. The forward pack is unchanged, and the interchange as well. It's all completely unchanged. Also should be mentioned, however, that Jamie Frizzard has been named on the reserve, so she could make a comeback this weekend. For the Newcastle Knights, it looks like that there are no changes here for them. Just reading there as well, my goodness. Ali Brigginshaw, Isabel Kelly and Keely Davis, they are all playing game number 50 this weekend. That's absolutely amazing. That is an enormous achievement for those three players, and there'll be a few more like it over the coming weeks as well. I'm certain to say we've got Ziggy refereeing this one, so that is a massive occasion for him to be refereeing. There are matchups all over the park. If I had to lean one way, I'd say that the forward pack of the Sydney Roosters are in better touch, probably just a little bit better. Looking at the back line, I should say. I've been so impressed by Taina Naividi. I think she's one of the wingers of the year, just quietly. It's a massive opportunity for Jessie Southwell, who didn't start the year great. I think her first game was not good, but so too was the entire Newcastle Knights. But even though Jessie Southwell has been really, really good, I've got to say that I think Jocelyn Kelleher might just be a little bit better in 2025, and I think Taylor Preston had an argument or a case to be made for her as well. Look, this is so close to call. Corbin Baxter versus Beau Vedi Welsh, and Beau Vedi Welsh has been a little underrated in 2025 for sure. This is going to be a classic, and you can check out my reaction with Dor from All Out Club this Sunday. We're going to go live for this one. Why wouldn't you? This is so tough to call, but you got to back the champions on this occasion. I'm going to go the Sydney Roosters to win this game 1-12 in a classic. And then to round up round number 7 from Queensland Country Bank Stadium at 6:15, Sunday twilight football. North Queensland host the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Cowboys are $1.39. The Bulldogs, they are $3. For the North Queensland Cowboys, there are no changes for them as they sit pretty in 4th position, alone in 4th position. And then for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, there are a couple of changes here. So we've got Loco Tui, who I think might be making her debut. Apologies if that's wrong. But Loco Tui is playing on the Sting. Quinlan and Annika Wilson are the halves pairing. Taylor Preston is out potentially for the rest of the year, unfortunately, with an MCL injury. And as I just said before, she was making a huge case to be halfback of the year with Southwell and Kelleher floating around her. For the forward pack, Wheeler, Pryor and Millard, Monshau, Smythe and Angelina Tiakarangi-Katoa round out the back row. ATK, oh man, it's going to be interesting to see how they take on ATK, because the Cowboys, they were out dominated. That's not even a word, I don't think, but their physicality against the New Zealand Warriors, even though it was in driving rain, really, really tough conditions, the Warriors outmuscled them and just really hit them harder than the Cowboys. Cowboys, they responded well against a really committed unit like the Parramatta Eels. They had to come back from 10 points to 0 down to get that victory down at CommBank Stadium last weekend. So with this forward pack of Wheeler, Millard and Tiakarangi-Katoa coming at you this Sunday for Twilight Football, it'd be interesting to see how they do tackle it and how heavily that they can soak up the post-contact meters that might be coming their way, especially headed by the captain of the Bulldogs. The interchange is also Mahakitau, Monshau, Suliruka, Uilu and Kalasapani Hopawadi. That's another player there that is just a power of strength. Alexis Tauniai has also been named as 18th player on the reserve, so she might come back. So the forward pack, whilst there's nothing wrong with North Queensland's forward pack, this Bulldogs forward pack is still not one to be trifled with or to be underestimated at all. They're going to have their hands full this weekend, the North Queensland Cowboys. But it is that back line that really, really impresses. I said it last weekend and I'll say it again. Tallulah Tillett, it looks like that it was the first time last weekend where Tallulah Tillett played with Kira Dibb, and it looked like Tillett was allowed to be the controller, where Kira Dibb was more focused on her defense and she was getting into dummy half quite a lot. There were a couple of wayward kicks by Kira Dibb, but Cowboys were able to rustle things back, get momentum back on their side. but it was led beautifully by Tallulah Tillett. And it's the first time I've seen Tallulah Tillett really lead the North Queensland Cowboys with Kiri Dibb playing in at 5'8". And when Tillett is allowed to play her natural game, be the leader, it's not night and day. That's a little bit too large of a difference there, but you can see the difference when Tillett is allowed to be the leader. And Tillett, when she leads, she is so good. She's so good. Blackwell and Whitfield, I think we're just going to see that constant swapping and changing for them throughout for the rest of 2025. Not to reveal the game plan. I don't know what I'm talking about. And yeah, Francesca Goldthorpe. I said before, Taina Naividi for the Roosters has a hand on one of the Dally M Wingers of the Year. I know Sheridan Gallagher and Kerry Johnson for the Broncos are doing really well, but Goldthorpe, she is right there. She's had an outstanding year, and I would have no hesitations in selecting her to be one of the wingers of 2025 in the NRLW. Bree Chester, it might be too biased to say, but still though, she has made the most amount of tackles of anyone in the NRLW so far in 2025. And Olivia Koenig, she was, the Dally M player last year, but Manchester at lock, I mean, to leave her out as lock of the year at this rate, God, it's going to be so unfair. But I would have Chester in at lock over Olivia Koenig at the moment. And the one stat, I was doing my research, and the best thing about North Queensland Cowboys, that while their completion rates, they're not the worst, they're not the best, what they're doing though is that they're the team in the NRLW that miss the least amount of tackles. The Bulldogs, they sit in second for a team that misses the most amount of tackles. So Crystal Blackwell and Whitfield, alongside with all the other pieces as well this weekend, obviously showing the respect in the way that they play the Bulldogs. If they play to their best, the Cowboys, and if Blackwell and Whitfield can get real creative, there might be some opportunities here to crack them down their edges, considering Bulldogs are sitting second for most amount of tackles missed in 2025, whereas the Cowboys just continue to believe, continue to play their defensive game plan, and continue to be that team that do not miss tackles. They are the best in the competition for not missing their tackles. So that is an awesome stat to see. I remember seeing that stat for the men's side years ago. I didn't have a beard back then either. North Queensland Cowboys, 13 plus this Sunday. Howdy everyone, thank you very much for your continuous support. Sorry about the lateness of this video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this passes the time effectively for you. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you very much. Take care. Adios.